All right.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Welcome to round 25 of the Senol NPLW here in Victoria. My name's Melissa Barbieri and I'm proud to bring you all the action here from the home of the Matildas between Melbourne Victory and Alamein FC. It's going to be a clash of the Titans here at home of the Matildas, with Melbourne Victory just sitting outside finals race hopes, but they're looking to get the 3 points today to thwart Alamein's hopes of a finals advancement. Alamein sit in 7th point just by goal difference, with South Melbourne sitting on 39 points adjacent to them on the table. So 3 points today will give them all the hope in the world to go into the final round of the Senol NPLW in 2026 with a finals venture. Other kickoffs around the ground are happening simultaneously, with Avondale taking on Boroondara, Essendon versus Heidelberg United, Keilor Park versus Box Hill. At 4 p.m. we have Bulleen versus Spring Hills, and then tomorrow we have South Melbourne versus City. So it's tight at the top of the NPLW here in Victoria, and it is just as tight for that 6th spot to go into finals. As we look to get underway here at the home of the Matildas, Victory go with just one change to the lineup that lost to Bentley Greens last week. Anika Dovison goes to the bench and Mia Crawford slots in to her position in the starting 11. Shaylee Lane is in goals for Melbourne Victory, with Trainer, Tam, Tarrant, Hussain, Franku, O'Keefe, Miller, Tekechera, Crawford and Saveska. Mila Bulic finds herself on the bench back from injury. Alamein, on the other hand, have Templeman in goals. They are an unchanged lineup since their 3-0 win against Spring Hills last week. John Kyrgios not changing the lineup too much, with no changes to the lineup at all, with Templeman in goals, Bugia, Leokopoulos, Shilton, Tyson, Anastasopoulos, Dustin, Runnels, Blissett and Archdeacon. Chelsea Blissett, playing for Melbourne Victory in the A-Leagues, will have to play against her team today. She knows this field well, so she'll utilise that left wing space to her liking. Summerleski with 7 goals on the bench for Alamein. Real firepower coming off the bench for them, alongside Josefsky, Ralph, Stamatopoulos and Harriet Lowry. Victory's bench consists of Bulic, Mool, Doveston, Tsingalidis, Simic and Broadbent. As we look to get this fixture underway, it's round 25 in the Senol NPLW here in Victoria, with Melbourne Victory starting off today's proceedings. Crawford out to Tarrant, into Miller. One thing about Melbourne Victory is they love to play good football, they love to sit in pockets of space, and they love to press the ball and win possession high up the park, as we see Saveska pressing as we speak. Bujas on the throw, the captain for Alamein is Crawford. Will go all the way back to Lane. Lane into O'Keefe. O'Keefe, playmaker, young Matildas, an all-round technical gifted player. Considering the centre of the park, she pulls the strings for the Melbourne Victory side as Alamein look to gain possession, and the pressure from Tarrant just a little bit too much. Be a first free kick of the afternoon to Alamein. Leokopoulos standing over the ball. She's looking at Blissett for the cross the field swish. And it does bounce once to get to Blissett. She'll keep possession. All the way back to Shilton, into Runnels. Runnels dishing off. Trying to get the switch out to Anastasopoulos. Techera there for company. The ball into the box is a good one. Ball bounces. Runnels. Blissett at the back post. Takes on one. on the right foot. Nothing that Lane couldn't handle. But promising start for Alamein, even opening minutes. As we see Dustin picking up possession for Alamein, but losing it once again. The last time these two sides met, it was a 2-0 win to Alamein at their home ground. I look forward to some even level playing field here at the home of the Matildas to try and play some silky football. There's a ball out onto the right wing for Franku into Miller. Miller driving now. High line from Alamein. She's still onside. Hussein, Templeman comes out, clears the danger for Alamein. Trainer on the ball now for Melbourne Victory. She goes inside, but too much on the pass. And Alamein back on the counter. And just as quickly as that, Silvestre picks up possession for Melbourne Victory. Teixeira on the left. She's trying to cut it back. Ball cut out by Shadara, and they'll be the first corner of the afternoon to Melbourne Victory. Melbourne Victory very good in set pieces. They'll look to line up their charges at the back post. And the delivery from Hussein will be pinpoint, no doubt. In swinger from Hussein. Call up. Ball in. Front post. Has to be cleared by Shadara, but it gets back to Hussein. Shadara has enough time to clear though, and Alamein will step the line up. Only as far as a Melbourne Victory throw. Tarrant into Miller. Cleared by Anastasopoulos for Alamein. Ball bounces off Runnels. Out to Anastasopoulos. Anastasopoulos does have time, but very few. Crawford covering well for Melbourne Victory. She'll see it out for a goal kick. Alamein organising their press a little bit better this time round. They know that O'Keefe was a little bit too open in that first goal kick for Melbourne Victory, so they look to press. Dustin with the ball out onto the left, cut back, touches Archdeacon, Anastasopoulos. Archdeacon picking it up. Recovery runs now for Alamein as Tyson out to Blissett. Archdeacon once again cleared by Crawford. Hussein gets it out to Teixeira. Teixeira taking it. Alamein just backing off. They have to bring pace onto the ball. Teixeira, she's got a clear pass and she tries to chip Templeman. Templeman gets a hand to it. The follow-up clearance from Shilton. Delicate touch there from Teixeira to try and loft it over the front post position of Templeman. Templeman able to get back in time due to the pace of the ball. But Melbourne Victory really taking it to this Alamein side early. Silvestre on the right foot. Ricochet, ball bouncing. Teixeira on the follow-up. And it'll be a goal kick for Alamein. Silvestre doing enough to put the pressure on the Alamein defence facing their own goal. But Teixeira with the follow-up header couldn't quite manage to keep it goal bound. Alamein will push their players up. Leokopoulos to take the goal kick. Leokopoulos goes long. Runnels the target. Well defended by Miller. Ball just hitting the referee. It'll be stopped. In those circumstances, it's usually a drop ball to the attacking team when it's deemed an interruption of forward advancement. Tarrant to clear. She does clear with the header, but only enough to give Alamein their first corner of the afternoon. Alamein have their own dead ball specialist with Leokopoulos looking to swing one in for Alamein. They have the runners, some very good aerial players in Runnels, Shilton. Both scored last week. Shilton off a corner. Melbourne Victory will have done their homework though and look to stop those runs. In swinger from Leokopoulos. It's going towards goal, off the crossbar. Clearance from Silvestre. It's high. Frank, who can't control. Archdeacon gathering for Alamein. Bugias can't keep it in though. Leokopoulos denied the Olympico. Referee calling back the throw. Tarrant will take for Melbourne Victory. Dustin into Runnels, cleared by Tam. She'll have another bite at it. She tries to keep it in, but too much for Tarrant to control. Shilton with the long throw. She'll take into the box. Cleared by Tarrant. Silvestre, Teixeira for Melbourne Victory. Pushing forward. Hussain giving chase, but Shadara will turn out and start again through Leokopoulos. Leokopoulos tries to find the feet of Blissett, but trainer well placed. Melbourne Victory not getting the possession they would like, but it's an opportunity for them to press. Templeman looking for a pass. She slips over in the process, gifts it to Silvestre, and Silvestre, quick touch and surefire into the back of the net to give Melbourne Victory the lead at the home of the Matildas in this round 25 clash in the Senol NPLW. What a quick finish from Silvestre. Unfortunately for Templeman, she did lose her footing on that clearance, and the positioning on for Silvestre, fortunate enough for Melbourne Victory to put it away. Calls from John Kyrgios to just keep calm. There's plenty of time to go in this match. Alamein looking to keep it now. Transition killing them at this point. Not able to keep meaningful possession. Whereas the pressure from Tyson does well to get the ball to Runnels. The forward pass to Blissett. Blissett has the advantage, but the closing down of space by Lane. Impressive. Tarrant. Back to Crawford. Switches out to Silvestre. Silvestre, part of the A-League squad here at Melbourne Victory. She has come back from significant injury and medical issues, so to see her out on the park from start to finish these last few weeks has been excellent. As a clearance from Shilton gets to the Bugias. You can see Kyrgios has just changed up that left and right back with Shilton and Bugias changing it up, perhaps to try and thwart the dangers of Teixeira with her speed. Franco trying to keep it in. She'll whip the ball in. Silvestre, Teixeira. Ball bouncing to Dustin. She's got Shilton. Anastasopoulos blocks. But the pressure from Tarrant was immense. She picked up possession, but Shadara trying to calm things down for Alamein. Trying to find that forward pass. Runnels giving chase. Crawford does well to use her body to clear the danger. Back to Lane. Tam just using some composure here for Melbourne Victory. Trying to find that forward pass, but the pressure from Bugias was enough against Franku. Ball forward. Too much on it for Dustin. And Trainer will clear the danger over the sideline for Melbourne Victory. It's 1-0 here at the home of the Matildas to Melbourne Victory in this round 25 Senol NPLW clash. Blissett just sitting in an offside position there for the away team. A free kick to Melbourne Victory. Silvestre picking it up in the pockets to Frank Coote. Miller can't get a touch onto it, and Shilton has the advantage. Pushes it forward to Runnels. Runnels with her hold-up play, incredibly important for Alamein, but Teixeira doing the hard yards, forcing Alamein into pushing it out of the sideline for a throw. Franku and Blissett going at it. Ball falls to Blissett. Bagias asking for some calm, trying to put their foot on it. Alamein trying to find a good pass. Can't find the feet of Runnels. Tam switches it out to Teixeira. Into Poppy O'Keefe. O'Keefe driving forward. She's got Miller on the inside, but she tries to dish to Teixeira, but Shilton there to cut out that pass as Victory go quick on the throw. O'Keefe. Nice composure from Crawford there to sell Runnels the dummy back to the keeper. Trainer and Franku working well. They have the advantage 2v1 with the centre back. Can drag it out. Miller at the top cuts it back, and Templeman this time claims in the 6-yard. This time Leokopoulos finds the feet of Blissett. Back to Bagias. They really are trying to maintain this level of possession. Alamein not advancing incredibly dangerously though. Melbourne Victory with the high line. Archdeacon given chase. Lane clears for Melbourne Victory over the sideline. Dustin. Back out to Bagias. Forward pass. Blissett can get onto the end of it. Left-footed cross going only as far as Tam. Tam well positioned to cut out the cross. Scott. She turns. She has Tarrant. Teixeira picks it up at feet. Shaping up Shilton. Shilton, she takes it past. Shilton recovering well and getting front position. Great defending by the seasoned defender. You can catch all the action of the Senol NPLW here. You can have 4 games you can keep an eye on this afternoon in importance for all the teams in the top 6. The battle for the premiership though with Box Hill and Essendon. As Poppy O'Keefe goes wide to Teixeira. Teixeira, she has way too much time and space. Melbourne Victory using that space to their advantage. Switching the ball from one side to the other. Alamein trying to pick up the ball in the centre of the park as Silvestre unleashes. Oh! Templeman thought that was going way outside the post, but it just bent enough back in to give Melbourne Victory fans the hope that that was nestling into the back of the net at the far post. Leocopolis, Blissett dropping down. Touch from Blissett, just showing too much to the Melbourne Victory defence. Shilton recovering. O'Keefe. Tyson doing well to cover for Alamein. Anastasopoulos drops it back to Shadara. And she'll clear over the sideline. Play just slows for the shoelace of Teixeira. Tarrant looking for Miller. Hussain just sitting out the back, trying to find something to gamble on. The intensity of Alamein just not there at the moment for John Kyrgios. He's asking his charges just to be that little bit tighter and stop the play of Melbourne Victory, and I tend to agree with him. They're just sitting off that little bit too much, giving probably Melbourne Victory too much space that they can utilise a little too effectively. But on the transition is where they're the most dangerous, and if they can continue to go forward, not play backwards. Brigius with the tackle, just takes out Trainer with the tackle, and she does go down heavily, Trainer. Alamein have calls that it was all ball in the tackle, but it will be a free kick for Melbourne Victory as Emmy Trainer does get looked at, and the Melbourne Victory bench starts to warm up. The young defender is on her feet, probably just a little bit sore after that clash, landing hard on her back. This gives Alamein time to just chat with their team, get some drinks. They need to improve their pressure on the ball. Lane back to Crawford. Runnels giving chase, and the pressure enough for the ball to go over the sideline. So Alamein looking to step up here and use the space that pressure has been rewarded with, but they'll go back once again. It's certainly enough to draw out that Melbourne Victory defence, but Shilton gets the ball to Anastasopoulos. Anastasopoulos can't quite keep it in. Tarrant with the throw. Shilton with the clearance. Harley Hamdani with his Melbourne Victory side after Asante moved to China in a position over there. He's been taking charge of this Melbourne Victory squad and trying to implement a certain style of play that no doubt is about the development of the Melbourne Victory club as a whole, but also these players vying for junior Matildas and young Matildas positions. So with the young Matildas in the Asia Cup and the junior Matildas on their way to a World Cup, these players all have their own goals in mind. Some A-League contracts or scholarships, and then on top of that, their Australian representation as Leocopolis to deliver for Alamein. Back post, rising above everyone is Silveska. She'll clear. Anastasopoulos gets it back to Bagias. Shadara with the ball over the top. And Dustin just giving the call to Blissett that she's offside, she can't play, but Blissett, no doubt, was already in the swing by that stage. Trainer looking to go up the line with Blissett, giving cover. And as we see the rain just starting to trickle down here. It's 16 degrees, but this drizzle just making that little bit more, adding some slickness to the pitch. A little bit of wind, creating the element of weather that both teams have to contest with. But the slickness of the pitch will suit Melbourne Victory. with their tight passing game as Miller looking to go back to Crawford. Crawford out to Tarrant. Tarrant moving the ball well. Finds O'Keefe. Beautiful play from Melbourne Victory as Jasmine Miller goes out to Teixeira. Teixeira has 1v1 with Shilton. She'll deliver. Front post covered by Shadara. Shadara clearing. Runnels looking to hold up, but Crawford doing well to rise above. Clear the header. Miller will pick it up from Anastasopoulos. O'Keefe out to Tarrant, who's driving forward from that left back position, and just a little bit of miscommunication between Tarrant and Teixeira. Teixeira trying to create some space for herself on that left wing, but obviously Tarrant saw that inside channel was the opportunity. Blissett clearing, only as far as Miller. Poppy O'Keefe standing on the ball, linking with Teixeira, out to Tarrant. Tarrant back to Teixeira. O'Keefe. The forward run from Tarrant, well recognised by Tyson, with Dustin going forward. It'll hold up in the wind a fraction, but not enough to give Blissett the inclination that she could win it. So she pulls out of the challenge and returns to defensive position as Crawford looking out wide. Cover from Anastasopoulos. Only gets as far as Crawford, with Miller looking to switch play through Franku. Forward run from Trainer, well guarded by Blissett, and she'll pick it up, but Alamein just frustratingly can't pick up enough possession to make any dangerous play. Burgess, Alamein captain, with Archdeacon closely guarded by the Melbourne Victory midfield. Blissett drifting inside, looking to keep it. Hussain driving the pressure for Melbourne Victory. The ambush on the sideline, and that'll be an Alamein throw. Burgess, half turn by Archdeacon. Well met by Melbourne Victory with Trainer on the sideline. Blissett deflects it over the sideline. O'Keefe controls, drops it back to Tam. Through lane they'll look to switch. Crawford sitting inside, finds the run of Savaska, who joins Tarrant on the sideline, but too much on the pass, and that's where the rain has come in, just up the speed of the ball for the players. They'll just have to get used to it quite quickly. Savaska holding it up. She's got O'Keefe. Tyson giving chase for Alamein, and the pressure enough for Alamein to get the throw. Shilton wanting to wipe the ball on her hands because she can feel the dew of the rain just making it difficult for players to control, get their foot onto it. O'Keefe, Savaska, our goal scorer, puts it out to Franku. Burgess does well. She can drive forward here, Burgess. She's got Blissett. Players calling for the foul, but no foul given. Alamein looking to set up their press. Melbourne Victory using it to draw the Alamein defence out, try and create space for themselves in behind. Crawford. Crawford forward. Shilton to collect for Alamein. The forward run from Runnels. She's got Anastasopoulos and the pace. She can deliver. She gets a ball past one. Anastasopoulos cuts back, but Tam well placed to cut out the danger of Dustin. But Runnels getting back for Alamein, picking it up once again. Transition game at the moment for both teams, but Melbourne Victory doing their best to keep their foot onto it. Runnels keeping it in. but only to the advantage of Melbourne Victory. But Alamein Tyson in a great position to cut out a forward pass, but Melbourne Victory on the transition once again. Anastasopoulos doing the hard yards to keep possession now. Shilton driving forward, using Runnels. Tarrant doing well. Good battle. Runnels keeping it. Passes forward to Shilton with the overlap. She'll deliver. Back post, Blissett. Too much on it for the run of the winger. Cuts inside. Trainer recovers well for Melbourne Victory. Bergius back to Leokopoulos. Leokopoulos has time. She can find a pass, but once again, too much on it. Both keeper and Runnels, keeper Lane and Emma Runnels just pulling out of the challenge, and the ball drifts over the end line for a goal kick. It's 1-0 here at the home of the Matildas in favour of the home side, Melbourne Victory, going 1-0 into the lead after a Sienna Silvestre goal, where Templeman unfortunately slipped over, and Silvestre was well placed to take a touch and hit really quickly and capitalise on the mistake. Teixeira trying to bounce it out wide. O'Keefe keeping it for Victory alive. Finding pockets of play, but the recovering run from Dustin, just trying to turn it out, but Runnels giving pressure. Archdeacon, Runnels on the turn. Crawford with the tackle. Runnels falling over, but Crawford, advantage paid. But the pass forward doesn't find the feet of anyone, but Alamein facing their own goal will have to start again with the pressure of Melbourne Victory coming forward. Alamein opting to slow it down with a throw. And Shilton drawing the ball off, trying to get some grip as the sun continues to shine. Melbourne weather turning it on in all aspects. Just enough to wet the pitch, and the drizzle dies off and the sun is shining once again. Alamein going back to Templeman. Templeman out to Leokopoulos. Blissett dropping down, trying to pick up Hay, but once again just fractionally off in terms of communication. Dustin wanting it feet and Blissett going in behind. Archdeacon to Blissett. Ball ricochets, falls to Dustin. She gets a clearance on it. She has a second nab at it. Anastasopoulos giving chase. The pressure from Savannah Anastasopoulos is what's keeping Alamein in this game with chances high up the park. But they can't come with more dangerous progress. As I say that, Anastasopoulos on the ball, drifts inside. She's got the passing lane, but not the run. Melbourne Victory goal kick. Here in the 31st minute at home of the Matildas. Alamein certainly not out of this. They just know that if they give enough pressure in that front third, they can pick up possession and be more dangerous in attack, clean up their passes and their pressure. Runnels out to Shilton, delivers. Dustin to control, back to Tyson. Tyson trying to find that final pass, but Blissett facing forward. Bergius, she's got Tyson in the middle. Tyson looking to switch. This time Silvestre once again. She's got her head up. She can see Templeman off her line. This time it'll go over the bar. Can't blame her for trying after her first goal, where she capitalised on a slip from Templeman. She had eyes on that goal as soon as she picked it up high up the park. Once again, Silvestre. Franku finds Miller. Back to O'Keefe. Silvestre onside. Ball into the box, and it'll be deflected over the sideline for their second corner of the afternoon. Certainly a game of transition for both teams, with Melbourne Victory capitalising on it the best. Alamein just seemed to be at odds with where each other are on the park and trying to find feet. Just the communication just lacking at the moment. Tam with the delivery. Back post. Templeman with the touch. Clearance. Second touch to Chera. Ball bouncing. A cluster of bodies in that 6-yard block with Franku. Some lovely touches to deliver back post, but nobody ready for it for Melbourne Victory. But well guarded in that box by Alamein. There was a wall of red players in front of Teixeira, increasingly putting the pressure on that Alamein defence to clear the ball, and it fell to Alamein at that final gasp as Melbourne Victory tried to put one in the back of the net. Alamein driving forward now with this long ball from Leokopoulos. She'll have to deliver and get the line up, but Runnels trying to hold up play, but Melbourne Victory doing well with the physicality of the experienced striker. Silvestre, she drives forward. She looks for the cut. Hussein in the box. Franku trying to follow up. Once again, this ball bouncing. This time, Dustin ricochets off O'Keefe. Hussein brings it down for Silvestre to Chera. Teixeira onto the right boot, falls. Shadara have to recover because Hussein had front position. It'll be another corner for Melbourne Victory. They're piling on the pressure here. The young guns from the Melbourne Victory. Once again, Hussein with the right foot in swinger. The wind may be just dying off, so it'll be a matter of technical ability for Hussein's delivery. She in swings, front post, Shadara clears, Teixeira once again. Teixeira with numerous chances this afternoon on follow-up headers, but can't quite bring that down, and Templeman gathers comfortably for Alamein. She'll get it out to Bugias. Bugias driving. She's got time and space. She'll find Bissett on the run, but it will just drift outside. But Alamein looking to counter-attack. They can do so, and they can squeeze here, and they try and win the ball up the park. Keep Melbourne Victory from playing that combination play that they're so good at. As O'Keefe driving forward, Dustin giving chase. Ball out to Teixeira. Teixeira has the run of Hussein. Drifts outside the line of the go, but Hussein has it. Right foot, front post. Covered by Templeman. Use the physicality there, Hussein, to drift inside onto her right foot. She may have had an opportunity to continue forward. She opted for that front post delivery. She did have runners into the middle of the box should she have needed them, but she opted for the shot. Cutback was definitely on with Silvestre and Miller. We see the battle in the midfield as Miller is in charge of guarding Runnels and doing a magnificent job as it is. Franku picking it up for Victory. Franku on the follow-up again. She gives chase once again, but Leokopoulos gets it to Dustin. This time finding feet, Alamein. Blissett has nobody ahead of her, so she'll turn back through Dustin. Leokopoulos finds Tyson in the middle. Archdeacon unable to control. It's that final pass. Just the link-up play from Alamein just not working out for them in the centre of the park. O'Keefe turning out of danger. Tam. Diagonal pass to Chera in behind. She has the pace to Chera. She's got numbers in the box if she can stay on her feet, but well guarded by Shilton. Shilton driving forward now. She has Anastasopoulos. Back to Shilton. Just needs to be a bit more deft with the touch there. Shilton. Tam driving forward. Just misses the touch trainer, and it'll go for an Alamein throw. Crawford finds the pass to Hussein. Hussein had them beat but turns back out. Archdeacon back to Shilton. Anastasopoulos can't keep it in. .38th minute here for this round 25 clash at the home of the Matildas. Melbourne victory with the slender lead of 1-0. It'll be this time of the half that they really need to shore up their defence and make sure that they go into the half-time ahead. Cleared by Tam. O'Keefe. Franku. Miller has the forward run of Trainer, but Leokopoulos drops to collect, and Trainer well placed. She's driving. She's got Saveska. Well held by Templeman at the front post, but Trainer well placed there once again. The ball falling to her feet. Crawford. Anastasopoulos out wide. Saveska to Chera. Tarrant switches to Tam. O'Keefe inside. Goes to Trainer. Tam. Melbourne victory throw. Saveska trying to drop it to Franku, but Alamein getting enough onto it to disrupt the attack for Melbourne victory, but can they keep the possession in this final third? Leokopoulos falling over it. Can she keep possession? She does. She gets a toe onto it. Hussein back to Saveska. Tyson there to disrupt the Melbourne victory counter. Dustin just too lax on the ball. Maybe O'Keefe surprising her with pressure. Archdeacon pushed off the ball by Tam. Into Miller. Miller with the turn. Once again, too much on the pass. The young Chargers at Melbourne victory looking to see out this half in the lead, making the most of their possession. Alamein struggling to find more than 3 passes. They're trying to get their rhythm, but they can't just find that final crucial pass to keep it to being dangerous. Hussein with Templeman. Templeman with the block. Leokopoulos with the clearance. This time Archdeacon adds a further clearance for Alamein to step up the line. Tyson into Shilton. Dustin tries to play forward, but under pressure from Miller, she gives it away. Tam. Crawford. Runnels giving chase. The press from Alamein working this time. Now can they find that pass? That combination at the top of the box. Runnels going back. Blissett forward. Trainer going back towards goal. Tackle from Archdeacon. The support from Dustin. The ball out to Anastasopoulos, who's onside. Delivery cleared by Erin Tarrant. Be a throw in for Shilton. This is where Alamein will look to capitalise. Go into that half, regaining parity. Try and keep these 3 points alive. Runnels, the flick back, only as far as Silveska, and she'll clear. Melbourne Victory now looking to push their line up as Shadara turns. She can find the run of Dustin. Runnels in an offside position, lets it go. Dustin picking it up. Anastasopoulos. Control. The follow-up met by Lane. Be comfortable. She drops it to Tam. Tam looking for Franku, but the ball will travel over the sideline. Much better from Alamein. Linking up that little bit better. Concentrating on their touches and their passes. Trying to find that space. Silveska between the lines for Victory. Franku takes it one way, gets round Bagias. Bagias giving chase once again. Franku delivers. Hussein with the touch. Miller! Blocked by Shilton. It'll go over the sideline, over the end line for a corner. Melbourne Victory, once again, an opportunity for a set piece to be delivered. We're into the final few minutes of this first half in this round 25 Senol NPLW Victoria clash. We're at the home of the Matildas. The wind just picking up here a fraction. Hussein taking a deep breath just to regain her composure to deliver. She knows this might be the final opportunity that they get. In swinger, front post, Shadara, Miller, Crawford, I should say. Well done, Crawford, but Runnels doing enough to put enough pressure on her. Ball played quickly by Alamein. Franku picking it up for Victory. They get it once again in that transition. Silveska, she has the run of Hussein, but Templeman picking up the cross. Those ones are far more difficult than they seem, with the ball bouncing right at your feet. It's easy to misjudge. And that'll be half-time at the home of the Matildas. A little bit early, unfortunately, for the referee, asking for the minute to be played. A little bit of confusion. There's still 1 minute of play to be played. And they'll give them the minute as they're rightly entitled. It'll be a drop ball. O'Keefe out to Teixeira. Melbourne Victory will want to capitalise on this with 1 minute to play. Back post, enough to clear the danger with the Alamein defence as Archdeacon goes forward. Blissett caught on the ball by Trainer. Trainer delivers. Shadara clearing. Blissett with the flick on. Tam into Franku. Tam once again just puts her foot onto it. She can find Poppy O'Keefe in the middle. Anastasopoulos doing enough. Hold up play to Chera inside. Back post run from Silveska. Unable to find the back of the net. or the head of Silvestre. Alamein will set up once again with Leokopoulos going onto the opposite side. Drives forward. Tarrant with the header. And this time the half-time whistle blows in this round 25 NPLW Senol Victoria game at home of the Matildas. After a Siena Silvestre goal, it is Melbourne Victory 1, Alamein FC 0. Welcome back to the home of the Matildas as we look to get this second half underway. This clash between 8th placed Melbourne Victory and 7th place Alamein. Melbourne Victory are in the lead 1-0 after a Sienna Saveska goal in the 11th minute. Capitalised in a transition moment for Melbourne Victory. As we look to both teams, they have not made any substitutions in this halftime break. Melbourne Victory have capitalised on their pressure going forward on the Alamein side. John Kyrgios probably would have had some firm words to say at halftime to his team in red. Undoubtedly, they have been a little bit off the mark this afternoon with their passing accuracy and their pressure on the ball, allowing Melbourne Victory that little bit too much time. But no doubt Harley Hamdani will be proud of his Melbourne Victory squad. No doubt being really physical in the middle of the park has helped them to this 1-goal advantage. They'll be doing more of the same in this second half as Alamein get us underway in this round 25 clash in the Senol NPLW here in Victoria. O'Keefe back to Tarrant. Crawford to Tam. She has a little bit of time and space. She's looking for the run of Teixeira. Onside. Teixeira, well placed Shilton. Great front position there from Shilton. She gets the ball forward to Runnels. Using a hold-up play here, but well covered by Melbourne Victory in the defensive line through Mia Crawford and Erin Tarrant, the captain. Saveska. Tarrant. Runnels once again. Alamein unable to find that final pass. Crawford into O'Keefe. Too much on it. Gives the ball to Dustin. Dustin holding it up. Looking for the advancement of Leokopoulos. Leokopoulos driving forward but couldn't quite get past an advancing Melbourne Victory defensive line. Just skewed that shot. Alamein really going man on man hard in this press. Shadara winning it in front. Ball flicked on. Tarrant has front, but Anastasopoulos continuing her good pressure from that first half. Wins Alamein the throw in. Shilton will look to take the long throw into Runnels, the flick on. Archdeacon back to Tyson, to Runnels, cleared by Teixeira, only as far as Tyson though for Alamein. Ball now being spread by Alamein, trying to draw out that Melbourne Victory side. That pocket of space opened up for Alamein, but once again, they can't hit the pass. You can see the frustration, trying to stay positive. Miller heading out for an Alamein throw. Leokopoulos clears. Tyson trying to put pressure on Miller, and Tarrant sprays the ball out to Teixeira. Teixeira had a field day in that first half on that left wing. Teixeira trying to find Francu. Bagias' header gets it to Blissett. And once again, that pass, unfortunately, off the mark for Alamein. Seveska. Blissett driving forward. Gets it out to Anastasopoulos. Pulls her a little bit wider, but she's got the pace to bring it back in. Delivers. And that will go out for a goal kick. Melbourne Victory moving the ball well. Franku inside, out to Trainer. Trainer, close ball control, doing well, clears the danger. Leokopoulos sees it out over the sideline. Pageas to Leokopoulos. Shadara. Back to Templeman. Shilton drifts inside. Finds Tyson. Closely matched by Seveska. Shilton with the throw. Cleared by Tarrant. Miller. To Trainer. Does well. Turns out of danger. Tam swings it out to Chichera. It'll bounce. She's got time and space, and Seveska inside to help. Tyson does well to cover the pocket. Anastasopoulos gets the touch to Dustin. Tyson back to Shadara. Templeman under pressure now. Leokopoulos. Forward pass to Blissett on the turn. Body bump from Trainer. Ball drifts over the sideline. It would be an Alamein throw. Runnels looks to take quickly, but drops it in favour of the captain, Bugeas. Physicality in the midfield for Melbourne Victory has been the presence that they were after to match this Alamein side. Let's not forget that Alamein are sitting equal points with South Melbourne in 6th position for a finals berth in this 2026 Senol NPLW. 3 points here is what they think they need to achieve in order to make next week a possible finals berth. But we see South Melbourne playing City tomorrow, and they'll be watching at home this afternoon to see how Alamein do. Runnels on the flow up, the clearance from Crawford, enough for Melbourne Victory. Bugeas using her body and physicality this time. Bugeas early throw to Blissett. Blissett controls. Has Bugeas behind. Blissett delivers. Great claim by Lane under immense pressure from Runnels. Strong work from the Melbourne Victory custodian. Chera. Crawford, back to Lane. Tam, Hussain, out to Trainer. Tam, forward run by Miller. Shadara dropping off and allowing that space for Miller. Miller doesn't have anyone in the box just yet, but she'll glide outside, cut back, one more, and that's a surefire call for a penalty, as she had Leokopoulos beaten. May have gone down to ground a little bit too easily. She certainly was away in front of goal. Runnels with the touch, Crawford with the clearance and the follow-up tackle. Blissett. Dustin. She's got Runnels at the back post. Maybe marginally offside, and the call is made. Be a Melbourne victory goal kick. So we see once again Alamein. Sorry, it will be a Melbourne victory free kick. And Alamein frustrated because they should be pressing. Dustin giving the call through the middle of that field. Close ball control this time from Silvestre. Able to get herself out of that pressure. Forward. Tarrant. Ball over the sideline. Alamein throw. Tarrant gives the clearance, but it'll only come back. Anastasopoulos giving chase. She'll get there first, and Crawford has to kick it over the sideline. Alamein will be looking to their bench to try and improve the tenacity of this front third for the vying of the 3 points this afternoon. They've got to get themselves level first, as Melbourne Victory took the lead in the 11th minute through Sienna Silvestre. Tarrant with the clearance. Dustin back to Shadara. Shadara delivers. Lane lets it bounce. Blissett there for the follow-up, and Trainer trying to block the advancement of Blissett, enough for Lane to come and collect. Crawford. Miller battling it out with Archdeacon. Anastasopoulos on the follow-up. Lane ready for the shot. Tam. Victory opting for a longer passes. Friendly fire from Leokopoulos, and Bugias just collected on the cheek as she went past. Both players had eyes on the ball, and Bugias was turning. Unfortunately, those ones are nasty and definitely in pain. Head injury, and caller's time is called for both teams to come off onto the side of the pitch to get some drinks, as they'll be looking to go onto the field as quickly as possible to assess Bugias. She's in quite a considerable amount of pain at the moment, but both coaches will use this moment for a drinks breaks and to refresh tactics after half time. Looking to roll Bugias, get her into that assessment position. Frustrating for Bugias. She's captain of the Alamein squad. She has been for a couple of years now. Alamein were looking to make some changes in the imminent minutes, but now that Bugias has gone down, maybe they will change tactics, possibly go to a 3 at the back to really push numbers forward. You can see Summer Lasky getting herself ready, and Mila Ralph looking to make substitute. But what's critically important is that Bugias is okay, and that he's called for the substitution there on the Alamein captain. Just make sure that her head and neck are okay before they move her. We'll probably need the stretcher. They've given the thumbs up to say that she's okay, but she will have to make the substitution, so that's good news for Estelle Bergès. Other results around the grounds as we take you through this lull in this round 25 clash, as we see Bergès getting to her feet. If you don't want to know the scores right now, just block your ears for a moment, as at halftime between Avondale and Boroondara was taking a 3-0 lead against the home team. Essendon on their home pitch was taking a 3-0 lead against Heidelberg United, and Box Hill a 1-0 lead away to Keilor Park. And 4 o'clock kickoff for Bulleen versus Spring Hills happening at the moment, so all games live streamed for you on the YouTube channel, Senol NPLW Victoria YouTube channel. But it's great to see Estelle Bergès making her way off her own steam, off the pitch. Not nice to see anybody go down with such a heavy knock. Unfortunately for Estelle, that she's okay and that she'll be able to walk it off. And in this day and age, any head injury must be taken very, very seriously, with the exchange of players coming on the park. We saw Ralph. Those substitutions were quick enough that I couldn't even see who came on for Ralph. It's hard to know who came off. I'll just give myself a moment to see Blissett driving forward. Collected by Silvesca, and it will be Blissett to have a free kick. Dustin looks to have been Tyson to come off in the midfield for Alamein. Ball into the box. Runnels with the header off the crossbar. Just what Alamein needed. A fresh hope for a leveller in this game at the home of the Matildas. Maybe that spark in substitution. Summer Lasky has 7 goals to her name this season, so she's certainly adept in front of goals, and that added pressure from Alamein just forcing that turnover for Melbourne Victory. Be if Melbourne Victory are able to ride this wave of pressure from Alamein with those substitutions. Blissett will look to take with the left-footed delivery. As Melbourne Victory look to their own bench. Blissett with the delivery. Front post. Touch by Lane. Runnels can't find the feet though on that second touch. O'Keefe cleared the danger, but Runnels couldn't control without settling over the sideline. Alamein going into a full man-to-man press here. Tam into Miller. Lasky just misses the touch on Silvesca. Miller on the follow-up, gets the ball to for Silvesca. First half goal scorer. Find the feet of Franku. Franku pushing forward. Silvesca. Lasky doing the defensive work. She'll push forward. That'll be play on by the referee. Ralph into the box, the 18. She's got Runnels. The tackle from Miller. The recovery work from Miller, absolutely critical for Melbourne Victory there to keep this slender 1-0 lead. Once again, it will be Chelsea Blissett for the corner. Alamein will throw numbers forward. Runnels sitting inside the goal at the moment. Back post. Lane. Runnels! The final touch perhaps came off the Melbourne Victory player, but Runnels at the back post. The ploy was successful. She sat inside the goal for a number of seconds before the delivery, and she just popped out in enough time to put a header on goal. And the ricochet did come off Silvestre in the end, but that's enough for Alamein to regain parity here at the home of the Matildas. It's Melbourne Victory 1, Alamein FC 1. So we substitution Sienna Silvestre coming off the goal scorer in the 11th minute for Anika Doveston. Some fresh legs for Melbourne Victory. Alamein can sense the tide turning. The pressure from Lasky. The composure from Miller. Dustin. Melbourne Victory resettling. Tarrant drifting inside. The touch from Anastasopoulos. Runnels finds the feet of Dustin. Leokopoulos finding space for herself. Lasky trying to hold up against Trainer, but it will go out over the sideline. Chelsea Blissett moving from the left wing position into the left back position. Runnels dropping into the midfield for Alamein. Ralph going high. Teixeira. Back to Tarrant. Anastasopoulos once again continuing her pressure from the first half. This time Alamein linking the passes, but Archdeacon can't find the final pass. Ball goes forward to Franku. Blissett with the defensive work now. Physical. Doveston with the turn. She uses the run of O'Keefe to try and drift away from Dustin. As Tam find Doveston's feet again. Doveston uses Franku. Trainer with the overlap. Doveston with the touch. She's got numbers in the box. She goes for the back post, and Teixeira couldn't quite get a head onto it. She had numerous bodies that she could have picked out, and she chose the far post option, but had too much on it for Teixeira. Alamein will restart with a goal kick. Alamein pushing up for the long ball of Leokopoulos. Shilton with the flick on. Ball allowed to bounce. Crawford clearing. Ball bouncing. Shadara can clear. Alamein will give chase. Priya Archdeacon with the pace and the control. Rolls Tarrant and wins it herself, and Alamein a corner. Position that they would love to have again after putting one in the back of the net the last time they had a corner through Emma Runnels. Increasing the pressure on this Melbourne Victory side. Ball's whipped in. This time Lane claims through the bodies. Releases to Doveston. Doveston has Franku, but goes to Miller. Lovely threaded pass. Miller probably just asked too much of Franku in that moment. Leokopoulos spreading the ball onto the right-hand side. Shilton asking for options. Ralph inside. Anastasopoulos with the touch to Shilton. Shilton can drive. It's 3v3 currently, but the option to go forward to Lasky. Probably just a bit of a rush of blood. She did have more time and space than she probably had known. Miller's distribution out wide today probably hasn't been on the mark to the caliber of the player she is. Dustin, Blissett, back to Shadara. Shadara goes long to Lasky. Lasky giving chase, front position. Claims for a penalty, but waved away. Trainer goes long, clears the sideline. Shadara. Alamein stretching the line as much as possible. If they can keep it in, she does. She does well. Anastasopoulos with numbers around her. Finds the feet of Runnels. Archdeacon on the follow-up, but straight to lane. Chera. Under pressure from Shilton. Dustin with the sliding challenge. Chera goes down, clutching at her knee. Might have been a tough tackle, but ball will go out of the sideline, and they've asked for the physio. Alamein players asking for the trainer. Teixeira looking in all sorts of pain. Fortunately, another injury for players today, as we see earlier. Estelle Bergiers having to go off for Alamein after a friendly fire injury and head knock. This time it's Teixeira on that left wing. She's been dominant all afternoon. Sienna Teixeira. Hopefully it's nothing too dangerous. Teixeira, one of the top goal scorers for Melbourne Victory with 8 goals. Just equal with Ella O'Grady and Jasmine Miller on 5 goals. And this will be a moment for both teams to collect their thoughts, come up with a game plan. Coach Harley Hamdani just asking for the signal from the trainer to say whether or not Teixeira is okay to continue before they make some substitutions. They'll make some substitutions now, Melbourne Victory, as we look to see Catherine Moole and Mila Bulic coming on. And Mila Bulic will come on to replace Erin Tarrant, the captain. And Moole will come on in replace of Franku. Franku, long throw from Shilton, finds the feet of Runnels. The 1-2, drives. Lasky with the header. Archdeacon keeping it in. She's got Blissett, she's got Lasky. Ball ricocheting to Doveston. Miller will clear, and the follow-up tackle from Runnels. Too much heat on that one. And very apologetic, but physicality between the two players has to be respected. Apologies made from Runnels. Certainly a professional foul. But Runnels not only taking the armband in terms of physical, but also trying to pump her teammates up with that added pressure. As Hussein for Melbourne Victory picks it up. Combination with Doveston. Cleared by Blissett. She's got Lasky. Lasky glides inside. Follow-up run from Blissett. The tackle from Tam. Puts it over the sideline. Blissett has Runnels far up the field. She's stretching the line. Runnels. She's covered by two players, though. She can't do much to get it out of the danger. Trainer with the throw. Hussein overran it. Alamein will be able to start again. Shadara out to Shilton. Anastasopoulos inside. The clearance from Bulich gets it to Dustin though. Leokopoulos, she has her head up. Finding the run of Blissett, if she can keep it in. She's got Ralph in the box. Lane comes to collect. Well-timed collect from Lane. Tam. Into Miller. Doveston. 1-2 back to Miller. Miller can switch. Teixeira and Shilton come together. Shilton and Teixeira this time. This time Teixeira leaving a boot in with Shadara, and Shadara is down. Melbourne Victory will continue to play here. Doveston, Alamein asking for the ball to be played out, but there's no obligation to. Melbourne Victory still playing on with a player down. Blissett wins possession, as we'll see Shadara finally being able to get the treatment that she needs. Alamein will get their bench warm in the event that Shadara can't continue, but they will look to keep her on the park as much as possible. The experienced defender important for Alamein's hopes for 3 points this afternoon. They currently sit on 40 points, and with South Melbourne to be playing their game tomorrow, still probably not enough. They'll want all 3 points this afternoon, so they'll keep striving for it. Alamein. Runnels asks for the push in the back, but doesn't get it. Doveston. Pressure from Lasky against Trainer. Trainer forward. Dustin. Holding it up so Leokopoulos can come and collect. Deacon. Archdeacon to Runnels. Through ball to Anastasopoulos. Well covered by Bulich. Moore into O'Keefe. Lasky retreating. Runnels trying to find Blissett, but Miller blocking the run of Blissett impeccably. Miller getting around Blissett with the tackle from behind. No card once again. Professional foul. Crawford out to Bulich. Anastasopoulos picking her pocket. She's got the runs in the box. Tam clears. Mule with time and space. She dishes to Teixeira. Looking right after that knee clash earlier on. She's got Dofferson through the centre. Melbourne Victory have the time. Recovering Dustin, but Blissett cuts it out. Blissett driving forward for Alamein. Alamein out to Lasky. Lasky early ball. Cleared by Crawford. Doveston with the composure to turn out of danger. Miller looks to thread. This time the grab from Miller called against Blizzard. This will give them an opportunity, Alamein, to set up set piece. The delivery from Blizzard will be a outswinger, no doubt aiming for the target of Runnels and Shilton. The ball in between the goalkeeper and the penalty spot, enough for Tam to clear it over the end line. There'll be Alamein corner. It's been a completely different half for Alamein. This second stanza has really had them increase the pressure. Of course, being 1-0 down no doubt gives you that added confidence that there's nothing to lose. They can go all out, push numbers forward. They've gone man-to-man in the press. These corner set pieces, dangerous. Once again, the clearance from Miller this time. And the block from Trainer. Leokopoulos will see it over the line and have another set piece, and she can go quickly to Chelsea Blissett. Blissett with the delivery. Ball into the box. Perhaps unfortunately for Alamein, no one was privy to the communication that it was going short. Shadara, ball over the top. Not enough angle on it. Lasky. She needs to get back. The pressure on Trainer. Sees it over the sideline. This time Victory applying the pressure on the Alamein defence. Leokopoulos. Lasky just needs a moment to fix up the boot. Perhaps a tangle of shoelaces. This Trainer looking to play the feet of Hussein, but Miller gets a clip onto it that deflects it past Hussein. Shilton dropping back, trying to create space for Anastasopoulos. Ralph driving forward. Dustin picking it up for Alamein. 1-2 with Runnels. Swings the ball out to Blissett. Blissett. And the delivery far from her best. It's been the frustration of Alamein this afternoon with just the percentage of hitting the mark on their passes much lower than they'd be used to, that's for sure. Melbourne Victory far cleaner in their distribution and possession stats this afternoon. Shilton with the long throw finds Runnels. She's got Crawford for company. The delivery. Lasky gets the header onto it, but it glances past the far post with Lane caught in no man's land. Unable to collect and unable to defend her goal. Superb delivery from Runnels under immense pressure from Crawford. Alamein will look to set up their press once again. Tam drives it to Miller. Miller will turn. This time the ambush coming from Alamein a little higher up the park. Blissett trying to find the ball. She falls over. Call from the assistant referee. Shadari driving forward. Shilton just holding her space. Anastasopoulos finding feet. Shilton into Runnels to Dustin. She's got Blissett. Blissett can deliver. Opts to go down the line. She gets past Miller. Miller recovering though. Does well. The young The young striker doing an immense job in defence just then, applying the pressure. But it will be another Alamein goal kick, corner, I should say. It's been certainly the pendulum in favour of Alamein in this second half. Scores are still level though, as we see the referee giving calls into the middle of the 6-yard box with the impact on the goalkeeper. Both teams being asked not to hold. Runnels trying to create space for herself. Lane with the touch. This time she needed to read it all the way in with Leakopoulos. Delivery right on target for an Olympico. Runnels in but offside. That release of the pressure valve on Melbourne Victory defence just then. Superb work from Shaylee Lane in the Melbourne Victory goal. And the pressure from Runnels. Runnels asking for the corner, but it'll be a goal kick. You can see the high line from Alamein. They're looking to play Melbourne Victory. This time they'll push them up. They can feel that pressure. They'll opt to go long. Tam will deliver. Hussain can control, but Blissett with the follow-up. Leakopoulos made to face her own goal, but she can switch it out to Shilton, who drifted high. The follow-up tackle deemed illegal by Shilton. Be a Melbourne Victory free kick. Crawford gets it to Tam. The follow-up block from Archdeacon, and she's giving chase. She's got front position. She drives in. She can cut back. Crawford well placed to defend the goal for Melbourne Victory. Miller, Dunstan on the follow-up, and the tackle from Miller will be a late call for a free kick and a yellow card to Jasmine Miller. Just over 5 minutes of just under 5 minutes of regular time set to play here in this round 25 fixture at home of the Matildas. It's all level between Melbourne Victory and Alamein FC. Goal scorers Sienna Silvesca for Melbourne Victory and Emma Runnels for Alamein. They'll be looking to capitalise here, Alamein. They need all 3 points today to keep their finals hopes alive. As we see both right foot Leakopoulos and Chelsea Blissett over the ball as Leakopoulos looks to separate. She gets, this means possibly player at the back post free for Alamein. Chelsea Blissett will be in charge to make the decision. And it's neither a shot nor a cross for Blissett. As we see Melbourne Victory going to the bench again. This time Teixeira coming off. She seems sore from that challenge. And Anastasia Simic coming on for a straight swap at that left wing position. Tam with the long ball. Shilton holding up play for Melbourne Victory. Gets the ball to Moole. Moole out to Miller. Archdeacon again with the running, this time defending Miller in the bottom corner. Blissett looks to double team. They come away with it. Alamein cut out by O'Keefe. O'Keefe using the pressure of Runnels against her. Crawford. Anastasopoulos just mistiming that challenge, and they get the ball out to Bulich. Bulich out to Simic. Simic to deliver. Cleared by Leakopoulos. Flicked on by Runnels. Anastasopoulos giving chase. Cleared by Tam. Just over the sideline. Throw from Shilton. Anastasopoulos wins that battle. She's got O'Keefe now for company. O'Keefe doing well. The follow-up tackle gets the ball to Tam. Bulich into Dobeston. Back out to Bulich. The combination play now for Melbourne victory. Simic gets herself onside to move forward. Dishes it off to Hussain. The save from Templeman must have been absolutely critical, and she made it. The interchangeable play from Melbourne victory really Well, Simic, this time Simic offside, but a great touch forward for herself, but just driving. Tam collected by Runnels, but the follow-up falls to Dustin. Dustin out to Josefsky, delivers. Lane will come. Runnels will go for it, but Lane collects comfortably. Nearly into the 8th minute of added time. Alamein looking to put the pressure on. Bulich going forward. Shilton cuts it out. They'll need to drive forward Alamein. They've got minutes, seconds left on the clock. Tam to Miller. Miller driving forward. Hussein trying to hold it up, but Shadara getting a piece onto it. Blissett gets stuck onto the ball. Hussein picks it up. Hussein driving forward. Blissett can't foul. She doesn't want to soak up any more time than she has to. She opts to kick it out. Melbourne Victory will take their time. These are all things that these young players are learning in order to see out games. The longer they can keep possession, the longer they can keep the game. But now it's a Alamein free kick. Leokopoulos will take. Alamein drive. Runnels with the clearance, but it can't meet Archdeacon. They're still driving Alamein. Trainer with the long throw. Blissett clears. Archdeacon can't get it under control, but and that's the final whistle. And Alamein, unfortunately, have their finals. They've still got one game to do it in. Should the result go their way tomorrow with South Melbourne taking on Melbourne City, but it's been Melbourne Victory today. They started with a goal from Sienna Silvesca. They've been leading for a majority, came out as a second and more enthralled team in that second half. They came out of the change rooms with a strict plan to go man on man and put the pressure all on Melbourne Victory. And they came out fighting. They got that level goal through an Emma Runnels header. And then right at the death, well in, a beautiful ball in from Emmy Trainer. And the back post run from Simic. And the second half substitute put it away off that left foot on the volley. And after going down 3-1 last week to the Bentley Greens, Melbourne Victory have turned it around this week and scored all 3 points at home. And they'll look to go into the last week of the season with a high. It's been an absolute pleasure bringing you this afternoon's action from the home of the Matildas in this round 25 fixture. Melbourne Victory 2, Alamein FC 1.
The